Okay, so this is what I'm asking you is what kind of content you're thinking about making for videos, or what it is who it is you want to be talking to.
Um, so the people that I want to talk to are me 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Cool.
People who were in the position that I was in before I went to massage school, before I learned all of the things about self-care that I know now. During that time, I thought I was taking care of myself. I thought that I was doing the right thing for myself, but I wasn't. I actually had no idea what self-care was.
So
Truly.
why? Okay, so you didn't know what self-care was, but why did it? I guess what was different after you figured it out?
So everything, like literally everything in my life, my physical health, my mental health, my clarity, my everything was different. I had been to school. I got a master's degree, or I got half of a master's degree. I had been to several other schools. I had so many different jobs.
What kind of topics? Like
schools? I have a bachelor's in social work and psychology, a half a master's in healthcare administration, and I had gone back to school for sign language interpreting too.
Neat.
So, all of those times that I went to school, nobody talked about taking care of yourself. The social work degree alone, like, that was the place where I struggled the most, because all I really knew is that I wanted to help people, but I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't helping myself. So all of my energy was going to other people, and I wasn't taking care of myself. And so many people are in that same position, and that's my target audience. People who
How
are
they recognizing that they're not taking care of themselves? Probably, or how could they recognize if they don't realize that they're not taking care of themselves?
A big light bulb moment that I had when I was in massage school was when we started talking about self-care. My teacher told this story about this one day that he had been working all day long and did not properly take care of himself or clean himself up energetically before he came home. He said as soon as he came home, his kid and his kid was just like acting crazy, jumping off the walls, throwing tantrums, being, a kid, but just not listening. And he looked at his wife and he said, "Man, has he been like that all day?" And his wife said, "No, not till you walked in the door." And he thought to himself, and he's like, "Oh, I just walked in the door with all of this energy, all of this stuff left over from my day."
Right.
And as soon as he walked into the door with his family, all of that stuff started falling off on them, or, started affecting them.
Right.
And so he said that he went clean, did this energetic cleansing that he, self-care that he was teaching us at the time, and came back into the room and everybody was happy family again. And when he was telling that story, he was talking about every single day of my life. Because when I worked in social work, every single day of my life for 3 years, I would go out into the world, take care of all of these people, not do anything to take care of myself, and then walk in the door, and there would be like chaos in my house. My best friend was watching my daughter at the time, who, but it was between the time she was like 2 and 5. And she would be home with him during the day. I would come home from work and she would be throwing tantrums, bouncing off the walls, just being bad. I thought she was just being bad because I got home. And I was like, well, it's just a mom thing. I just have to deal with it. I shouldn't have had to deal with that. That shouldn't have been how our home life was. And if I had just known that just taking some simple steps to take care of myself would have changed that whole dynamic in my home,
Right.
I absolutely would have done that. And I think that other people are in similar situations, because at the time, other people would tell me, yeah, that's how my kids are when I come home too. Or, people relate to that story. People relate to that situation. And I think that's one of the big keys, that you need a little self-care in your life.
Stop it.